was formed in 2007. We used to be the research and development group for Avon Rubber, and Avon, as you know, have got over 140 years of history behind it, manufacturing all sorts of things for the rubber industry. We were invited to put together a group of scientists in order to be able to provide the same kind of service to industry that we'd done for Avon. And that really is all about problem solving, failure analysis and understanding the way materials work in the real world, either from the application point of view or from the processing and the manufacturing point of view too. And one of the things we're very keen to focus on is kind of understanding what happens to materials and products during their life, during their service career. One of the key things that we have is an elastomer compounding facility, so we have the ability to make, to manufacture, to compound any material that you wish for any particular application that you want. We also have an extensive selection of physical testing equipment here, so we can measure all the mechanical properties and the way the material performs after it's been vulcanized, when it's been made into a part. We can evaluate all of that. We then have a large selection of various aging capabilities. So we can age things thermally, we can age things in fluids, we can age things in gas, all the things that are important to polymer degradation. Following on from that, you obviously need to understand how those materials have changed during that lifetime and that exposure. So we've got a very extensive analytical capability here, which contains all the essential bits of analytical equipment for understanding what the composition of that material is, how its structure has changed during its lifetime. We have a microscopy capability. The most important thing when you get any failed part back is to have a look at it, use your intuition, see what the actual product and the failure is telling you. Condition monitoring is something that's very close to our heart, how things change during their life. And I think one of the things that's important is to be able to understand what can we do to that formulation to make it perform better. We can then do all the measurements, we can do the aging, we can do the testing here. We can literally close the loop. An example of that we looked at was an offshore application where the rubber material was cracking, it wasn't performing its duty, which was a load-bearing capability. Investigation of that showed that the protection package wasn't correct for the kind of atmospheres and the high ozone concentrations that it was going to experience in that particular application. We redesigned the protection package in there. We then evaluated it in extreme ozone conditions. We found that the material now passed. It performed all its mechanical properties that we understood were the requirements. And we were then able to offer that back to the client as a solution for his particular problem. That's the kind of thing that we're good at. That's what we do best. What we're doing here is relevant not just to the people who actually operate the oil fields and the contractors themselves, but also the people who manufacture the parts that go into the wellheads, that go into the Christmas trees, right the way back through that whole supply chain to the people who manufacture the polymers themselves. When people are decommissioning plants, decommissioning rigs, taking things out of service, getting them back to someone like us who can look at them and evaluate them, can provide you with a huge amount of information that will then make you aware of how to make the next product better, how to make it more sustainable, how to make it perform better in more extreme environments.
If you want to do a more accurate lifetime prediction and gain more understanding of what's actually happening to those materials in those environments, then the analytical test facility that we have at ARTIS to reverse engineer compounds and then look at the differences from the start and how these things change during a period of time during those aging regimes.
We set up the demanding environment capability to service a need in the market. It's quite clear to us that it is there. We want to be at the forefront of knowledge in elastomer analysis for offshore applications. That's the kind of thing that we're good at. That's what we do best.